what we want to talk about today, it is question under friction. What do you even understand by friction? A friction is also a force, opposes relative motion of two contacts between their surfaces. Before I continue, don't forget to like and share this video. A horizontal force of 45 Newton applied to a crate of mass 9 kg is just sufficient to move it. If the crate is now put at an angle of 50 degrees to the horizontal, find the force required to move the crate over the horizontal surface. So, in solving a question of this nature, the first thing you are going to do, let's interpret a line, sentence by sentence. Let's have a little drawing. Let's have, maybe this is a crate at horizontal. We are given a weight of the crate. This is limiting friction. This is horizontal force, 45 Newton, that has been given. Now, the weight, we also have reaction. That is the meaning. It moves up. The upward force is equal to the downward force. But recall, let's learn something from this area. Let me divide the page. Recall that the weight must be equal to the reaction, because the upward force is equal to the downward force, and which is mg. We're given the g as acceleration due to gravity to be 10 meters per second square, so which is equal to, now before we now have about mg, we were given the mass of the crate to be equal to the mass of the crate after we have able to, is 9 kg. So now, to now get the value of the weight, which is equal to the reaction, is equal to the mg, is equal to the 9 times 10, which will give us 90 Newton. So if weight is equal to 90 Newton and F is equal to coefficient of friction times the reaction. So for getting this value, we have F divided by R. So the coefficients of limiting of friction will now give us, what's the value of F? It's 90, 45 over 90. So give us 0.5. So this is the most important thing to note at this junction. So, we continue. We are able to interpret, we have used the first interpretation to get our value of coefficient of friction. We now continue to say, if the crate is now pulled at an angle of 50 degrees to the horizontal, find the force required to move the crate over the horizontal. So let's have another drawing of the crate now. This is the crate. This is P. This is the weight of the crate. This is the reactions of the crate. This force moves like this. Horizontal force of this force, we have the limiting friction. So therefore, if these are the force used to with the angle, we are given an angle to be 50 degrees. So now, but what most important thing to know is you must find the component of P. The P, we have two components. We have P cos 50, that is the horizontal component, and we also have a vertical component, which is P sine 50. So those are the two components that you must able to get as you are solving this question. So therefore, let's now consider our weight now. Before, in our first analysis, you discover that the weight is equal to the reaction according to the first statement. But the second statement lets us to realize now that the body, which is the crate, has now been pulled horizontally with a certain angle, which is 50. So now, to now consider the weight, you must consider the weight now equal to, weight will not directly equal to reaction again. You also consider the force, which is the reaction plus P sine 50. Let's call this equation 1. That's just the meaning. So let's try you also consider one fact, that the horizontal force will be equal to the limiting force here. So which is UR is equal to P cos 50 degree. We're able to call this equation 2. So let's try to from equation 1, we have our weight is equal to what? 90, because we are able to convert it to give us 90 is equal to the reaction plus P. Let's find the value of sine 50. Sine 50 give us 0. So to now give you 0.766 of P. So, and here we are able to get the value of coefficient of friction to be 0.5 times reaction is equal to P cos 50. So let's find the value of cos 50. So that is 0.6. will now give us cos 50 will be equal to 0.643 of P. Now, let's now use this value to find the value of R. Our R will now be 0.643 of P divided by 0.5. So the value of R will now be equal to, so he said, divide by 0.5. So it gives us 1.286 of P. So this is the value of R. So if this is the value of R, and we have this equation here, let's substitute now. We have 90 is equal to R plus 0.766 of P, and recall that your reaction is 1.286 of P plus 0.766 of P. We have a 90 is equal to, so let's add these two together. So we have plus 0.766. So we have 2.05 of P. So the value of our P will now be 90 divided by 2.05. So the value of P will be 90 divided by 2.05. So it gives us 43.9 Newton. So let's now reason to the question from the beginning, which says a horizontal force of 45 Newton applied to a crate of mass of 10 kilograms is just sufficient to move it. So the force now which we're able to get from here, P, this P, is now equal to 43.9 9 Newton. So don't forget to subscribe for more of these solutions in this channel and like this video. Thanks for